Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the wrestling world never stops, and neither does professional wrestling, and that's what we're here for. I am here with the incomparable, outspoken Tom King. My name is Heel Harrison, and we're here for Wrestling with Marks, Tom and Harrison podcast for our June 12th episode review of Friday Night Smackdown. How you doing, Tom?
Doing good, sir. How you doing?
Absolutely wonderful, man. And boy, I have a question, Tom. Do
Hmm.
we're four? This is episode number quattro. I don't know about you, but I'm having fun so far.
I've been having a blast. I've been having a blast with it. Fourth episode, and to me, episode 3 was very long waited. I don't know if people were waiting for it, but I was. So it's
I'll tell you
it's
what,
it's
as soon as
taken.
we end one episode, I'm ready for the next.
That's how we are. We're always ready for the next, and we can talk about wrestling for hours and on hours on hours on end. It
You
doesn't
know
stop.
why? You know why? Because we're marks, and that's okay.
Absolutely, we are marks.
So, very controversial episode of SmackDown, to say the very least, and we are going to get into that. I'm sure you have a lot to say, as much as I do, because boy, this episode
I
was
have my thoughts
something
and I have
else.
my opinions.
As do we all. So, as you know, on this episode, we're going to cover the King and Queen of the Ring matches. We're going to cover some segments that have maybe pleased some people, some other segments that have a lot of questions, left people with questions, and maybe some segments that just overall didn't really make any sense. So, without further ado, we start SmackDown. We're back in the States. We're back in Providence, Rhode Island, if I'm not mistaken. And Providence, Rhode Island is greeted opening SmackDown with I believe, the last first round match in the Queen of the Ring tournament, a failed four-way between Jade Cargill, Charlotte Flair, Sol Ruca, the Women's Intercontinental Champion, and Miss Lyra Valkyria.
My thoughts on that match, it was a good match. It was a fantastic match, but I question the outcome.
As a lot of you do, a lot of you and everybody else, I'm sure.
I'm don't I may all right, I may be biased about Charlotte Flair, but I don't think she needs to be a 13-time world champion.
Okay.
I'm glad, good for her that she won the King of the Ring or whatnot, but
Yeah.
I don't think she needs to be a 13-time world champion. I'm tired of Charlotte Flair showing up every so often, getting a title shot, getting the title, getting injured, and then vanishing. I'm tired of it, and I'm hoping that she doesn't really win that match.
Hey, you know what? Do that. You again, like you and a lot of other people. I will say this. If we remember the from the match with Tiffany Stratton going into Mania with her title match last year, if we remember how Charlotte Flair was perceived and the booing she got, I mean, I'm not. This was not. Hey, this was not heel heat, as we
No,
say. No, 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 no,
this
no.
is
That was go away heat. We do not want to see you heat.
yeah.
So how,
What I saw was
however,
was a lot of go away heat, and
yeah.
that's not good heat. That's heat you don't want.
No, it's not. Now, what I will say though is now we fast forward, and once she got embroiled with Alexa Bliss, I will say I'm not the biggest Charlotte fan either. However, I will not deny her talent. I won't deny that she's a Flair. I won't deny that she's one of the greatest right now, from an objective standpoint. But I will say this: if we go from that time with Tiffany Stratton and how Charlotte Flair was perceived, I was screaming at the top of my lungs to do something different with Charlotte Flair, and that's what they did. And now we fast forward to now. You cannot deny the reactions that Charlotte gets now are night and day because they humanize this girl a little bit and they put her with somebody like an Alexa Bliss, who's number one, popular. Number two, she's very relatable. And number three, she's just an overall likable, charming girl. And so when you take a Charlotte Flair like that, who's like, oh, I'm queen, you need to bow down to me, and I'm arrogant. When you humanize her and humble her a little bit, it's not hard for people to like her. So that's what they're doing. Like the reaction she gets now, I'm not the biggest fan. I don't want to see her world champion. I don't either. I'll be honest with you, I don't. However, boy, the reaction she gets now, good on WWE for turning that girl around because my God.
No, I can't disagree with you there. You can turn her around, but it still remains the fact that
Yeah, yeah.
she doesn't need to win the King of the Ring. I honestly see TKO or WWE, whoever you want to call it at this point,
Yeah.
pushing Jade Cargill to be the winner of the King of the Ring tournament.
What do you think she's Jay
I,
Cargill?
I think they've been building her up for it to win, and at this point, my money is going to be on the Jade Cargill winning this thing, man. For what, third time, second time,
I think no, for a second time. She won it last
second
year for
time.
sure. She won it last year.
you know?
So we get to this match, and I have the same note as you do. I thought this was a really, really good match. My notes mainly pertain to Lyra Valkyria, but we'll get to that in a second. So the main talking point, unfortunately, where we're recording this on a Sunday morning, and it was Friday 2 days ago. So over the past 48 hours ish, the main talking point, unfortunately, Tom, is not a good one coming out of this match, and that
Yeah, I've
is,
heard the talks.
I've heard the talk and I've seen it. And I will say this, poor Jay Cargill, man. Look, it was a unfortunate mishap. I'm not gonna talk about,
She lost her wigs, folks.
technicalities. I'm not gonna talk about
She lost her wigs,
technicalities. Look,
folks. She lost her
if
wig,
she
alright?
lost the wig, it came off, and people were like, "Oh my god, she's bald. My god, she's this and
No,
she's that." It's
folks,
like
she's not bald. Most of these chicks, they wear wigs, they wear makeup,
most
they
of
get
them do.
all dolled up for this
Yeah.
performance. It's like
And again,
any chick going out for a dinner date or anything like that. It's no different. And unfortunately, when you're bouncing around doing the human slam dance, you're gonna have some mishaps.
yeah.
Sorry, folks.
So again, let's be easy on Jay Cargill here. Don't be so mean to her. It's embarrassing on live TV. Come on now. Don't I get people that if you don't like Jay Cargill, I understand, but let's have some humility here, okay? All right, now that we're past that, now we're past the elephant in the room. Lyra Valkyria, I mean, my notes mainly surround. I'm sure, Tom, I think you could agree with this that Lyra Valkyria is probably male or female alike. When we look at the whole landscape of WWE, she's probably the best in-ring technician right now. Would you can is that fair? One of them. Is that fair to say?
She's one of the best technicians in the ring for the females
Yeah.
division right now. She's one of the best, I'd say. I like
Yeah.
her high flying skills the most because it's, of course, the background cuts out, but that's okay. And
So yeah.
it's just it's see the thing is what annoys me about this whole thing is you have Charlotte Flair go over. And then
Yeah.
you don't look at other momentum such as Lyra Valkyria and what she does in the ring. But if
Yeah.
again then again you have to be honest with yourself as well. Does she put ass in seats? That's the big question. Does she put ass in seats?
I think more
No.
asses have I think more for Lyra, I think over time she's put more. Not many, but I think over time compared to a couple years ago, I think she's put more in asses and seats.
I mean,
Mine's been there. Mine's been there
it's
from the start.
it's still not, answering my question as to why they have Charlotte Flair go over
Yeah, 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 you're right. Yeah,
and
yeah.
not, any out of the 3 that she was facing.
Correct.
You had
Yes.
Lyra, you had who else? Bliss, you had who else?
Jay Cargill,
Cargill.
Lyra,
You could have had,
Sol Ruca.
Soruka. I would have been fine if Soruka went over. I would have been more happy and more satisfied. It's just this their decision with the women's division King of the Ring part is just
And
not
that
it's very
and
questionable to me,
your
and
your
it's
take
just
on
bothersome.
and no, and that's saying something because I know you're not a big and Sol Ruca being a champion in the Queen of the Ring tournament already. I know you're not a big fan of that, but that speaks volumes because you're like, hey, even though
I'd
Sol's a
rather have
champion,
the champion go over.
exactly. I know,
I'd
and that's
rather
what I'm
have the
saying.
champ at this
Yeah.
case, I'd rather have the champion go over.
Yeah, I wrote down great leg drop. Going off of your note of Lyra being a good high flyer, her leg drop was great. Love her leg drop off the top rope. I wrote this down. Lyra can work anyone. I mean, sure, she's a little on the shorter, stockier side because she's muscled up and she's a shorter girl. But boy, I mean, when you've got the taller opponents, especially like a Jay Cargill, like a Nia Jax, like a Charlotte Flair that are a little bit taller and lankier, man, Lyra can, but she can work with anybody. But boy, man, Lyra can, that she has that. She can work anybody. And I also wrote this down for this is my final note. Anyone could have won this. And what I mean by this is they all have their spots in the match where I would have went, wow, okay, they're winning that person won because of that. That's good. Like they made me believe anybody could have took this match, but unfortunately, to the dismay of many, including you, Charlotte went over. I don't know why.
I
Now
don't
I
know
will
either.
say this. I will say this. Look, I can understand. Okay, Charlotte's the queen. She hasn't won Queen of the Ring yet. Let's make her Queen of the Ring now. I see the logic that WWE is going for if they do have her win. I personally don't want her to win. Okay, now, so one thing I do want to cover here, and before anybody forgets this, because apparently WWE has forgotten this, we have yet another, and this is what I don't have it in my notes, but I just remember this. We have yet another Blake Monroe vignette coming to SmackDown. Now, boy, she mentions what? She's mentioned Rhea Ripley, she's mentioned Charlotte Flair, and she's mentioned Tiffany Stratton. Three of arguably the biggest names on SmackDown. Now, well, yeah, three of the biggest names on SmackDown, I would say. You know what, Tom? I don't know what they're doing with Blake. And again, at first, if I'm not mistaken, when she first came to SmackDown, they were using her old NXT vignettes to the coming soon were her old NXT ones. Now they filmed. She is laying down on the bed with her diary. Now she has a diary, by the way, which is a nice touch. I like it. It's a
Yeah, I
diary
like
thing.
the diary is a nice touch. It
It
fits
it
character
fits
a
Blake.
lot. It does. It fits Blix. Um,
I'll put it this way. I want her. We need her on SmackDown soon because I'm not
right,
sure that
right.
this is getting. What are they doing with what's the purpose of coming soon? I don't understand.
You know what I think she's doing? I think they're going to go through the list of names, the big names, and maybe
Yeah.
some other names of the roster that she's gonna want to face,
Mm.
but at this point, again, I don't really know what the WWE is doing with Blake Monroe at this point. I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. They're shooting these scene promos. Again, nice touch with the diary. And she's naming probably one of the three biggest, women's names in the roster today. It makes you wonder, is she trying to is she taking notes? Is she trying to make, future plans? What is the idea behind the entire coming soon factor? And when is the soon coming? But as you
Exactly.
know,
How soon is soon? Now, are we? I think we just need to forget. If you recall, some 1,000 weeks ago now, she had a very short interaction with Chelsea Green. I think we can forget that because when she does debut, I don't even know that they're going to like not we just forget that. That's out the window. So that's just what I wanted to bring up, because this is an important part of Smack for me. That even though it was just a segment or a vignette, that was very important for me because I'm a huge Blake Monroe guy. Now, my final question would be of the three that she's mentioned, Rhea, Charlotte, and Tiffany, it is plainly obvious for me that who she needs to feud with when she comes to SmackDown is Tiffany Stratton. Period. It is
yeah,
plainly obvious.
yeah, it's quite obvious
So,
that she needs to come to SmackDown. It's just, I think to me they're dragging this this debut way too long. It should have happened months ago, maybe a month ago.
at least a month ago.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it should have happened a month ago. And if not a month ago, it should have happened at Clash.
Now, speaking of international crowds, if I'm not mistaken, as we both know, Blake is British. She's from London, England.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, I want to say that we have a live event, a premium, either a PLE or a Raw or SmackDown coming up in London, England soon. So, question is, are they waiting to debut her officially in London,
In
England?
London, England, that might be the case. I kind of see that. That makes sense. I kind of see them doing that. Them debuting her at
In
her
London, England?
home, London,
Yeah.
England.
I mean, I mean,
Um,
I mean, if they're doing that, boy, dude, that pop is going to be huge for her in front of her home
Oh
countrymen.
yeah, yeah. Because think about it. When any wrestler is in their hometown, they get the biggest pop.
Yeah,
Unless they're a
yeah,
fucking
they
heel, it's part of my French. Unless they're a heel.
do. Hey, hey, Ethan Page, he got pretty good. He gets pretty good pops in Canada. So
Well, that's because he's Canadian, like Brett.
it's because he's Canadian. It's
Well,
because
here
he's
and there.
Canadian. No,
Well, we all know
uh,
what happened with
no,
Brett
that's
when
true. No, I'm laughing. I'm laughing because it's true. No, no, what you're saying is true. I laugh because it's true.
Well, yeah,
Um,
it's because he's Canadian, so of course they're gonna pop him like crazy. I mean, look what
yeah.
they did with Brett. He was Canadian's hero compared. He was their Hulk
Oh yeah,
Hogan.
yeah. Oh my God, Bret Hart was a Canadian hero. So with that being said, Tom, we then move on to our next segment, our next match, which is the women's tag team championship match. We have Brie Bella and Paige, our tag team champions, going up against two members of Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley and Laney Reed, with JC Jane at ringside. I didn't have much down for this. Unfortunately, and I hate to say this because I love the talent involved, this for me was just kind of the whatever match. Not because of Fatal Influence. I will say that. I love Fatal Influence. JC Jane gets ejected. She gets the out of here by the referee, which got a pop. I love JC Jane, man. Now, I do see that what Creative is doing, the recent report was that Creative is trying to kind of, readjust plans, if you will, to make
Yeah,
room for Fatal Influence because of the overwhelming reaction they've got. So it was cool to see JC Jane, a new favorite of mine, and an old favorite of mine in Paige being in the same atmosphere. I like that for sure. Fallon Henley is just great. Lainey Reed can sell. They're great. I don't have much for. I'm just kind of trying to improvise here a little bit, but I love them.
It was a good match, but the thing is, in my opinion, I'm not really big on the women's tag team division.
Excuse me.
I'm really not big on the women's tag team division. It's
We're
nice to
gonna have to
see
have a talk
Paige.
off air, sir. No, I'm kidding.
We
I'm
may
kidding.
have to do so. I'm not the biggest Paige fan either.
Yeah.
Again, my problem is, WWE likes to bring back people from the past, and it's just the same case with Brie Bella. It's just I don't like her coming back, and Paige was like to me head scratcher, and you put her in the tag team division. Okay, but again, I just don't really pay attention to the women's tag team division at all.
I will say this that for sure, I think that just ultimately the end goal here is for when Nikki gets better, Bree is going to turn heel on Paige, kick out, boot Paige, and then the Bellas are going to have their moment as sister tag team champions to add to their legacy. And then Paige, which I think will be good, Paige will be on her own because it will give Paige what we want is to be her to be on her own.
So it's what you're saying is basically they're going back to the 2015 route.
Unfortunately.
See, this is why I get confused with the WWE. They make decisions like this. They
No, hey,
can't
you
get
whatever, yeah.
away from the past. They can't move on from the future. They have to somehow put the past involved into the future. Just stop caring about the past and just aim for the future of the company.
Yeah, I agree. So Paige and Bella, they retain their tag team championships, of course. I do see down the line that Fail Influence are definitely there. If you ask me right now, if they would have switched it last night and Fail Influence would have went over, I would have been fine because I like Fail Influence. I think they should
You
be
know,
tag team champions way more than the Bella and Paige. I'm sorry. So
Honestly, I honestly, when it comes to Fatal Influence, I thought the train had set sail for them a long time ago. When they first came, they were okay, they're all right, and then I started to grow into them a little bit more. But I
uh,
always thought that the train really set sail for them, and look at them now, they're getting huge pops.
but yeah, dude, Fail Influence is just starting. I think they're gonna be. These girls are gonna just easy
Skyrocket.
climb for these girls, all of them, for sure. So now we move on to folks.
Wait,
We're gonna move it on.
hasn't Fatal Influence been around for some time though?
Yeah, yeah. The group itself has been around for. If you want to go back to Toxic Attraction when Mandy Rose was back in NXT, along with G,
Right.
the original was Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, and Mandy Rose as a
Oh,
part of
so
Toxic Attraction.
this is a revamped
And
Fatal Attraction.
Fail Influence has been around. Jason Jane took over, and she revamped this group, and she became the leader.
Okay.
It was mainly her own group. It was her own group that she kind of took over. But yeah, Fail Influence as a whole has been around for quite some time,
That's what I
for
thought.
sure.
That's what I thought. Did I call him Attraction?
You did, but it's Fatal Influence. But yes, unfortunately, you botched that one. But that's okay.
That's all right. All right, listen, folks. I'm half asleep doing this, but I'm gonna continue anyway. Go on. What's the next note, man?
No, that's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to point out that even if Tom is half asleep, he's still the incomparable Tom King, and he's here for the dedication of. But you know why? Because he's a Mark. And with that being said, we're going to move on, Mr. Mark, to our next segment. And this one, guys, I think is Tom's favorite segment. Everybody's favorite cursor, Danhausen. So I have a couple notes. Okay, so now lately on SmackDown, the Danhausen segments have consisted of Kit Wilson, The Miz, and Danhausen. He's backstage and he's become this scientist, if you will, which is fine. It's kind of grown on me. But and Miz is in a completely almost like a walking Johnny Gargano. You know how Johnny Gargano is just catatonic planking. Well, now the Miz is being controlled and is for while walking Frankenstein. And Kit walks in, he's like, "You've got to stop this now. This is toxic." Which, by the way, I wrote down. I got to get that T-shirt. That Kit was, "Hello, I'm not toxic." I got to get that T-shirt. By the way,
You know,
I got to buy that T-shirt. I want it, and I'm gonna make it into a crop top.
okay, and I've heard a lot of people say that they're confused as to why the Miz is taking this route. The Miz is not taking any bumps. He's not getting hurt. He's not feeling like he's in pain 24/7. He's having a good time and he's getting paid for it. Danhausen, not taking many bumps, not really getting blown out of the ring, because the last match that they had together in a house show, if I'm not mistaken, I saw in a clip,
Yeah, where Miz was running the
Danhausen
rope.
blew the Miz right out,
But you know what? That was
which means
funny.
to me only
But
one
that was
thing
funny.
and one thing only: the shape. His
Uh,
cardio is a
eh.
little bit off. So, and it's quite easy to tell. So, this man has probably done one of the smartest decisions he could possibly do. Okay, he's not getting bumped, he's not taking bumps, not getting hurt again, and he's having a good time and he's getting paid for it. Danhausen, same thing. Kit Wilson, same thing. They're having a good time doing this, and you can see that. I thought
Yeah.
it is pure genius to have these three men work with each other, and what they bring onto the table is comedy gold.
And you know what? No, it is. No, I will say this. I'm a fan
It
of.
will no, I mean, it
No, I like what they're doing. I do too.
it's gonna sell T-shirts, and it's selling tickets.
Yeah, no, it is. Oh yeah, like I said, I got to get that whatever that T-shirt that Kit Wilson was wearing. I got to get that T-shirt now. Like you were saying, I've seen the clip. I'm sure all of you have too, where Miz is running. Is Danhausen working the Miz recently, and Miz is running the rope, and again, this is typical house show antics. They can have a little
It's a
more fun.
comedy match. They call it a
Yeah,
comedy
they can
match.
have more fun. And Miz now again when he walked in, and I've seen the Miz like this. I love it and I don't because me personally, I was a fan. I'm a fan of Miz. I've been saying this. I'm on record saying this. We will not appreciate the Miz in ring and out of the ring until when he retires. We will not appreciate the Miz.
Oh,
When he's
100%,
gone,
I agree with you.
we will miss him.
100%.
I love the Miz.
I appreciate him for doing this because, you know, there's wrestlers that take wrestling as a job and
Yeah,
kind of understand the business, but then you have wrestlers like Danhausen, The Miz,
yeah,
and Kurt and R Truth, and
yeah,
understand the comedy fun side of wrestling.
yeah,
And to me, wrestling is a business. As long as you make this company money, you're golden.
yeah,
You're making
yeah.
money.
Oh yeah,
And again, they're doing the smartest thing ever right now. Make the company, make some T-shirts, sell some tickets, and they get a fat check. It's
yeah.
fantastic, and it's entertaining as all hell.
I mean my goodness, dude, the money these guys are making in
Phenomenal.
a 2-minute segment is more than we make in a lifetime, so,
And our salary.
yeah.
I mean, the funny thing is about this, and I have a lot to say about this.
Yeah, go ahead.
It Thousand is like the old 30s, like young Frankenstein kind of film, Igor kind of vampire thing. That's
Mhm.
what
Yeah,
I think it's absolutely genius that they gave him a laboratory and everything like that. You have Matt Cardona coming up to him, trying to tell him, "Hey, don't uncurse the Knicks." You have the other guys come in with a big old bag of money, and then you had Kit Wilson and The Miz come in, which I could not help myself but laugh hysterically. I took
and that's
screenshots of The Miz.
well, that's no, that's the note, by the way, that's a note I wrote down. You got Los Garzas, then you got Matt Cardona, then you get Kit Wilson. How many how many interactions does freaking Danhausen get? This guy has so many interactions. It's per segment. It's crazy.
Listen, you can feed this guy, Danhausen, anything, and he's like an R-Truth. He is an R-Truth. He's gonna be with this company for years and years to come. He is sitting in the backstage and having interactions, having segments, and going over. And it's the smartest decision any wrestler has ever made
Yeah.
in the
No,
WWE.
yeah, for sure.
Kurt Angle has done it. R-Truth has done it. Santino Marella is a great example. And
Man.
now you have Danhausen. Oh,
Uh-huh.
the Boogeyman for sure. Can't forget about the Boogeyman.
Boogeyman, I don't even think he was here's the thing, I don't think Boogeyman was trying to be funny. I don't think
Well,
he was
you know
trying to be
what?
funny.
He had his weird segments.
Yeah,
He was there
yeah.
for the weird segments, but
Oh,
again, they
dude,
were
do you remember?
entertainingly weird.
I know you're old enough to remember this, and then we'll move on after we'll keep going with this, but do you remember when Boogeyman bit that thing off of Jillian Hall's face?
That was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life.
As a kid, no, as a kid, it was one of those things that Vince McMahon got me with. I didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was, and I was like, "No, he didn't." And I was like, "No way." So anyway, we're getting off anyway. So Number one, I got to get that Kit Wilson T-shirt. Number two, Danhausen's funny. He's funny. Now, I will say, I kind of don't like that they do have the Miz in this like robotic catchphrase. I didn't like that because we already have Johnny Gargano. And again, just hear me out. We have Johnny Gargano here who is in already in a catatonic state, just not
Who do you
talking and just
think's
roping
underneath
up.
on that table?
What do you mean?
Who do you think's on that table that Miz is working on? That Frankenstein
Or
monster.
Danhausen?
Yeah.
A
It's freaking
another mini
it's
Danhausen?
Gargano. It's Gargano.
Maybe.
Where's Gargano been?
Talking to Candice LeRae. We just seen him. What are we talking? What are we talking
Oh
about?
wait, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna cut that out.
No,
I'm gonna
maybe,
edit that out.
maybe though. Could be. I don't know. But again, it's like I wrote down why are they putting Miz in this semi canatonic state? Like we already have Johnny doing this. Why are they doing this with I get it's for funny, but now we seen the last we've seen of Kit Wilson, he got shocked. So now I'm like,
Okay.
okay, dude, now you're gonna have are we gonna have Kit Wilson? Just like I think
He'll
that's too much. I think that's too
he'll
much.
you ever heard of the Tourette's angle with the electrocution?
With Goldust, yeah.
Okay. I think they're slowly gonna bring that back.
I hope they don't.
Because I think Kit Wilson's gonna end up having a
No, no, don't do that to Kit. No, no,
You
don't do that
know,
to
I
Kit.
really think they're gonna
I'm
end up
sorry, dude. This
having
is where
something
you made
stupid
it.
like
Just
that.
no,
I
I
see
don't want to see that.
WWE pulling this, you know, I think
I do too. It's a possibility, but boy, because you can't. Anyway, anyway. I enjoyed the segment.
what if Danhausen's starting a new faction? Comatose superstars. He calls them his experiments. You know,
Dude,
there's
he's
so much you
already
could do with
got. Dude,
Danhausen.
he's already got a faction. He's already got the mini Housens. He's already got the faction.
Though that doesn't count. That
No, it
doesn't count.
counts. No.
That
Anybody in the
does not
comments. No, no,
count.
no, no. No, no, no. In the comments. Here, I'm gonna this is the first time I'm gonna ask for the comments. Whoever's watching this, comment down below. Does the mini Housens count as a faction with Danhausen? It does, right?
I don't you know, I hate to say it to you, man, but most of these people are gonna agree with me. They're gonna
No.
agree with Mr. Tom. They're gonna agree with Mr. Tom. They're gonna say that the mini Housens is not really a faction. They're just, you know, they're just the entertaining
That's a faction, dude.
entrance. And I think the faction's gonna be Danhausen, Kit Wilson, and the Miz, and they're both in comatose states.
All right, so we move on to our next segment, which is we go from a segment that's you could say many fans just go, oh, I'm going to throw away with it, to a very important segment, arguably the most important segment of the night, which is our WWE champion Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn. Now, earlier in the night, we did see Sami Zayn talking to a catatonic Johnny Gargano, and Sami Zayn says, "You know what? I'm going to go out there. I'm going to talk to Cody. I'm going to clear the air right now." And he's got a T-shirt on, the T-shirt that
The
says
last good guy.
"The Last Good Guy." Here's the question, Tom. Before hold on, is how WWE's booking Sami Zayn, because again they've been hitting on you're not really a good guy. You're this prick. You think that you're a good guy. You're not. You're just annoying. You're complaining. Is Sami Zayn a way that WWE is speaking through the character to the IWC? Are they presenting a character through Sami Zayn and going, look, okay, we see you guys complaining. Does anybody understand what I'm saying here? Is Sami Zayn a reflection of the IWC and how WWE sees us
I mean,
through the Sami Zayn character?
to put it to you this way, I think it's more of them slowly building him up to be a heel. And at this point in time,
Well,
I
yeah,
think
of course.
this is the time now they should flip that switch and turn him heel now
Well,
and cook with it. Because Sami Zayn, he can be one heck of a prick.
yeah,
He really
he
can.
can.
And that slap in the face he gave to Cody,
Okay, well,
I'm sorry, I mean it. BS. You know what you were doing.
he meant it.
You knew exactly what you did, and now you're trying to justify it, trying to play off like you're the good guy. Listen, knock the crap off, WWE. Stop
Yeah,
telling this heel story with Sami Zayn. We all know that they all want him heel. Turn him, just flip the switch. Flip the switch. And
and
quickly.
that's the thing is
It's just, I don't like slow buildups like that. It's just switch the.
you and everybody else. Yeah, yes, I know.
It annoys the heck out of me.
Now I want to touch on the heel. In my mind, Sammy, they already turned him heel, and here's my evidence, if you will. I want you to think back of not this week or not last week, but the week prior. It was Sammy versus Cody. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Sami Zayn leave Cody ending the show, he walked back up the ramp. Wasn't that the
That's what
heel
I
turn?
mean. That's what I
That was the
mean.
heel turn, no? Like that, he's
Yeah,
already
that was
heel.
the heel turn. Why didn't they pull the switch then too? Again, that's just not this
I
is
mean,
what
it's
confuses
as
me,
if
heel.
the character Sami Zayn is like, oh no, I'm really the good, and that's I get what you're saying. WWE's trying to present him like, hey, I've already turned heel, but I'm the last good guy. Really, it's like,
I mean,
no,
no. Listen,
no,
it's to
no.
me that the whole "I'm the last good guy" thing, it doesn't make any sense because you got good guy Cody, you got so many faces. There's so many good guys. You got good guys. How could he be
Mm,
the last good guy standing?
yeah.
It makes no sense. No
Now I will
sense.
say this. I will say this. Even though it is now, here's where it gets interesting. Here's where it gets nuanced, if you will. Even though you and me and a lot of fans are frustrated, like you said, like you just expressed that, I'm sure a lot of fans will relate to what you just said.
Yep.
I'm a Sami Zayn hater. I can't stand the guy. I really can't. Now, I will say that I think that here's my positive note. I will say I think that what they've been doing and this development of this character, even though it's frustrating, I actually like, I hate to say this, I do like the direction. Even though it's frustrating, I see what it's a frustrating pull and they're kind of pulling
Yeah,
it,
it is a
but
very
at the same
frustrating
time, there
pulling.
is this development with him that I'm glad they're doing because what he was doing with beforehand, before the Trick Williams feud, I was like,
Right.
but at least
Well,
now they're trying to
now
take this to a different direction, and I like it.
Well, now you have Gunther having him the special guest referee for next week's match. You know,
Yeah, we'll get into that. That's
now
interesting.
that now that let me tell you, now that involves Sammy Heel's slow heel turn. The question is now, since that is happening, is that the final nail in the coffin and they flip the switch that night?
You know what? It
Because
might be.
I'm thinking now,
It
maybe
might be.
that's when they're gonna flip the switch then. It would
It
make
might
more
be.
sense to have him do it. Have him screw Cody, make Gunther champion, and then have him attack Gunther from behind.
So in the ring, overall, we have Sammy calling out Cody Rhodes. Cody, I know you're back there. He calls him out. We get the slap from Sami Zayn. Oh, I'm sorry. And Cody just comes back and gives him a good one. He's like, "Are we good? Are you sure?" Sammy goes to grab a chair like he's pissed off,
Yeah.
and the segment ends with Sammy catching himself yet again and checking himself and walking off. And then we do see Gunther in the back with Nick Aldis, and Nick's like, "Okay, well, what's your stipulation?" "Okay, I'm gonna have a special guest referee because I can't trust your officials, Nick Aldis. I can't trust you." Before he said it, by the way, when he said special guest referee, I go, "Oh, it's plainly obvious. He's going to choose Nick Aldis." No, 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 no. Turns out he chooses Sami Zayn. Now, here's what my question is, Tom. Despite the involvement with, now here I will say this: if Gunther loses the rematch as a heel in a rematch in a, which by the way, he should have won at Clash in Italy. But if he loses the rematch in a stipulation that he chooses along with the character that he's involving to throw off Cody Rhodes, which is Sami Zayn. If Gunther loses here, what do we do with Gunther? That's my first point. And number two, my second point is obviously we're going down the road with the Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn. The question is, does Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn does it need to involve the WWE title?
No.
I don't think,
No.
no, it doesn't. No, it
I
doesn't.
really don't think it should.
It
Because
doesn't.
again, Sami Zayn is I mean, I don't get me twist, don't get it wrong, don't get it I'm not a Sami Zayn team player.
Oh, no, you are. You're the biggest fan he's got. You're his
I
diehard number one.
I liked him in NXT with his rivalry against Kevin Owens. That's
Oh, yeah,
about it. That's
of course.
about it, you know. And when he first debuted in WWE, he was fantastic. But then as the
Yeah.
years grew on, he grew off me. You know, even now, you know, I to be honest, I liked him better as a heel. He's better off as a heel character, but
Yeah.
not the conspiracy heel character. Like, oh, everything's a conspiracy. I didn't like that angle. You know, I like my heels to be like straightforward pricks, like Sami Zayn can be, like MJF, like Christian Cage. Bro, in my
Oh, dude, I
opinion,
remember I remember as a kid when John Cena threw Edge into a lake.
yeah, I mean, you had Matt Hardy with Edge. That is the biggest heel move you could ever do in the business.
Yeah.
He practically stole his best friend's girl, and they made a story out of it. and he was the biggest heel in the world at the time. Christian Cage, biggest dick ever, biggest dick in the world.
Yeah.
MJF, biggest dick in the world. I love that about this. Now, if
Oh,
they
you
can
think
turn Sami
wait. Well,
Zayn into that, phenomenal TV will have my attention, guarantee it.
all I heard was MJF big dick. That's all I heard.
Shut up.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, no, that's true. No, your more straightforward heels, Tom, is something that I also enjoy. Like, yeah, he is a he's a big dick. He is, and that's what I like about him. No, I don't like that. I'm saying his character. Get your man out the gutter. So
You said it, not me, and whoever said it thought it.
what a man says, a man thinks, I guess. So we move on to, and this is another match, Tom, that I'm like, if you just put these guys out in the ring and you let them work, they're gonna have a good match.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's what they did. So we move on to a AAA match, for the AAA Cruiserweight Championship, Axiom versus Ray Phoenix, the brand new Cruiserweight champion. Your thoughts?
Okay, it was amazing match. I like the fact that WWE, is emerging with AAA. Obviously AAA is a WWE company, but they're allowing, the AAA title being defended WWE. Now, I would like to see a WWE title being defended on a AAA program, such as the IC or the United States,
Okay.
or even the tag team division.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Roy War Raiders, by the way. One of my favorite tag teams of all time. I loved
Yeah.
them when they were the Viking Raiders, and I love them as the War Raiders. It confused me as
I
to
used to
why
watch
they
them
changed the
in
name.
Ring of Honor.
Yeah, Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. Well, everybody that knows me knows that I like Viking stuff,
Yeah.
and anything Viking with that, fantastic. I'm glad that they won the AAA Tag Team Championships. But again, this match in particular, two phenomenal guys. You couldn't say any better. You have them in the ring. You let them just work, and it will be phenomenal.
I wrote down a couple notes here. I have, obviously, like I said, you and me both agree, it's a great match. You let these
Oh
guys
yeah,
work, they can work.
they could work.
Obviously, Ray Phoenix retains here. He just got the title. The title not going to change hands that quick, especially on Smackdown. It was interesting that we
You know,
got this match
I
on a
do have a
Smackdown.
question. I
Go
do
ahead.
have a question. Why the need for the spinningness for his finisher? I mean, why? I mean, I understand you're a luchador, you want to be flashy, but do you really need to have flash in your finisher?
I mean, yeah, yeah.
That's the only thing that I questioned was the spinning into the
Well,
driver.
Tom, you're just being Tom. I'm sorry to tell you, Tom, you're just being picky. Okay, you're just being
That's
picky,
just me
Tom.
being picky. That could be
You're just
me
being
being
picky,
picky.
Tom. Gosh, can he be a luchador, please? Was that okay with you, Tom? Gosh, jeez. No, I see your point. You're right. I wrote down because this was a good match and we see them working.
I'm sorry, I just
This
found it
should
a little silly. That's all.
this should be regular. This should be regular. And because I
Yeah.
said this should be regular, here's the next match in the series. I wrote down Nathan Frazier should be next. We should see Ray Phoenix versus Nathan Frazier next.
I didn't think about that until now.
Yeah.
And thinking about it now, that sounds like a really good match to watch.
Yeah, we should see that next. And I wrote down this. I wrote this down. Finally, Ray Phoenix has something. Because
Yeah.
boy, what was he doing before this? Nothing.
Nothing.
Zilch.
Zero. Absolutely nothing.
Nada.
And
And now
isn't he a prodigy of Rey Mysterio? How
I
do
think
you
so.
give your prodigy nothing to do in the
I don't know
first
that
place?
he's a prodigy. I don't know he's a prodigy, but I know that like he takes inspiration from Ray, obviously.
Well,
I see your point. Yes, no, I see your point. Yes, I agree.
this is just it's baffling, man. Like he's next to Ray, next to all these luchadors. You have Ray Phoenix.
And look, man. Again, Ray Phoenix was doing zilch.
Zilch.
I mean, nothing.
And now look at
And now they put him. It takes him to have the AAA Cruiserweight Championship from a different company so that they can have him do something on SmackDown. Do you see the frustration here?
Yeah, no, I see the frustration. I exactly knew where you were going with it. And again, you have him do Zip. You have him go to AAA. Does fantastic. Then you bring him back, and now what?
Yeah, I mean it's like yeah. I mean, anybody in the comments, please help us articulate this. Give me your thoughts on this.
Honestly, I think some wrestlers should stay on AAA.
Okay.
And be AAA guys like Ray Phoenix, Grande Americano,
Dan
Gable, Kit Williams, The Miz,
Kit Wilson.
Kit Wilson. Kit Williams, Kit Wilson, Kit Williams.
So we move on to another title scene, which is the U.S. title scene, and we got Trick Williams. Man, let me say this: I didn't. Ironically, I didn't write down much for that because this was just a talking segment. It was just a setting up again and building another promo. It wasn't really much to go off. It was just them promo back and forth. We see Lil Yachty, and again, I like Lil Yachty. I don't like him and his music, but boy, him and Trick Williams just work like butter and toast, just
Yeah,
smooth butter, man. So we see Trick Williams cutting the promo, talking about the U.S. Championship. And I mean, let's talk about it. Lemon pepper steppers, baby. I love it. Then we get absolute Ricky Saints. Before he can finish his entrance, Carmelo Hayes
just
pushes past him
storms past him.
and interrupts him. And Carmelo's like, look, we get in the ring. And both of these guys, I wrote down, both Ricky, Trick, and Carmelo shine. And Trick and Carmelo go back and forth in regards to Trick Williams, saying, hey, Ricky's like, there is nothing to discuss. I beat you. And well, Carmelo goes, okay, well, I can say the same thing. I beat you. What do you want to do? You want to do this here in Providence, Rhode Island? You want to do this right now? The match is set up for next week, Tom. Next week on SmackDown, we're going to have an official #1 contenders match. The winner goes on to Night of Champions to face Trick Williams, Lemon Pepper Steppers,
I
for the
really
U.S.
want
Championship.
Mellow Trick, and I've been wanting Mellow Trick for a very long time now. Since Trick came into the main roster, I want Mellow Trick. I like
I do
Ricky
too.
Saints. I like Ricky Saints, but I want Trick Mellow more.
We need Trick
Give me
Williams and
Trick
Carmelo for
Mellow,
sure.
give
Yes.
me Trick Mellow, and then we'll have Trick, or Trick Ricky or Ricky Mellow. I don't care who works with the Ricky Saints. I just want Trick Mellow. That's it. That's all
And
I want.
Tom, unfortunately, that might not be a reality because next week we do have the #1 contenders match. Ricky Saints could go over.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm not the only one in the world that wants Trick Mellow more than they
Oh
want
no,
Ricky
no.
Saints.
The whole IWC would agree with you. Yes, and I do too. No, I'm in agreement. So I'm just saying. Now, here's an interesting thought. We could also do Trick, Carmelo, and Ricky in a triple threat.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see. That'd be cool
But
to
I
see.
think we do need to see.
But I want
Just Trick and Melo.
I want Trick Mellow by themselves for that
Yeah.
title.
So we get a little bit of a brawl. We get,
Yeah.
of course, Ricky taking a shot at Carmelo. And then, of course, Trick Williams gets involved. And Trick Williams ultimately stands tall in this segment.
Delivering a devastating bookend.
Oh, dude, beautiful bookend. Just a beautiful bookend. Love it.
Let me tell you, he's learned so much from Booker T. He's learned so much from Booker T.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Booker T is great, man. He's one of my favorite. Booker T was in the old, 2001, 2002, or 2000 and 2001. Booker T was one of my favorites.
The only man to actually do wrestling while in a microphone in his hand doing his own commentary. Middle of TNA was hilarious.
That was hilarious. That was funny. So in the back, I think we might be slightly past this, but in the back, we move on to the other U.S. championship scene. We move on to a backstage segment which we've seen earlier in the night, the fallout, if you will. Tiffany Stratton walking in the back, meeting up, and here it comes. Wow, there goes my sweat stain right there. Tiffany, Meechin, and BFAB. And, Kathy Kelly, oh, whoa, Tiffany, what is up with that? And Tiffany's like, look, I'm not friends with Charlotte Flair. I'm not the best friends, but I know this, and that. Here they come. Chelsea Green, who, as we know, Tom, has been trying to win over Tiffany Stratton, comes in with a kendo stick and fights off and scares off
yeah,
BFAB
yeah,
and Meechin.
yeah.
That which then leads us to the
women's
tag
tag
team match. BFAB and Meechin going up against Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green. Now, in this match, I wrote, #1, Chelsea Green is my favorite thing on SmackDown right now.
The only thing I wish they did was have that a tornado tag, so that kendo stick would have been involved.
Okay.
Because if you're gonna bring
Okay.
a kendo stick to a fight, bring the kendo stick out. Let us see some kendo stick action, some chair action, some
Yeah.
table action. Give us a tornado tag where the no disqualifications are.
I wrote down, Meechin, and we've seen this before. They have a long history, and from TNA to the last couple years on SmackDown, the U.S. title scene. Mia Yim and Chelsea Green obviously work wonderful. Anytime they're in the ring, they have wonderful chemistry. They worked in this match great. Chelsea Green, again, is my favorite thing. Not just her character, But her trying to win over Tiffany Stratton is interesting. And I think slowly, she's working on Tiffany, and Tiffany's starting to kind of come around to Chelsea Green. Now, I have an interesting point here, and it's this: Chelsea Green got chance, and I mean Chelsea. We see the crowd. There was no doubt in my mind because as a heel, people were behind her. Me too. Now that she's a babyface, she could easily be the biggest babyface on SmackDown, possibly culminating to September or now October at Money in the Bank if they continue this momentum. Now, I will say this, and here's my final thought. What if Tiffany Stratton ultimately turns heel on Chelsea Green, making her, which by the way, we love Tiffany Stratton as a heel, better as a heel, and then turns Chelsea Green into this big baby face.
You know,
That
if
momentum and that dynamic is going to be interesting.
it would be very interesting to see Stratton put Chelsea Green over like that. That'd
Oh,
be
dude,
fantastic to see.
that pop that Chelsea would get
And you
would be
know what? And you
amazing.
know what? I see it happening. I really do.
Yeah,
Because they kind of, if you really look between the lines, they're kind of teasing it in that way.
yeah.
They're starting
No,
to
yeah, they
tease
are.
it
You could see it again. Imagine the empathy, the sympathy pop that Chelsea will get as a babyface if
when
Tiffany
Tiffany turns on her.
just turned heel on her, man, and just
People are
it
gonna
would be
go,
great.
"Why?" I'm telling you, I think it's gonna be a big
Yeah,
moment, and honestly, I can't agree I do agree with you. She definitely has potential, the biggest babyface in
oh yeah,
the women's division,
easily.
easily. I
Now,
wouldn't say in the entire company, but maybe on SmackDown alone.
oh yeah, for sure. Now, again, that momentum could if they strike while the pan's hot, they could lead, and this could culminate and build her up into where she's just such a big baby face that they would have to have her win Money in the Bank this year, and which I think they should. I think 100% they should. No doubt about it. Now, of course, now, I didn't see it coming, but Jade Cargill gets in the way, and she ends up helping Meechin and BFAB go over here, defeating Chelsea and Tiffany. And then here's the interesting point. I didn't write this down, but we have to discuss this. After she gives a jaded to Tiffany, she looks over at the U.S. Championship. So now, are we looking at Jade Cargill coming down from the U.S. from the women's division or championship scene, coming down to the U.S. championship scene? We now have possibly whenever she arrives, Blake Monroe, hopefully, Chelsea Green, Tiffany Stratton, and now possibly a Jade Cargill in the U.S. championship scene. That's interesting. That is interesting.
Right. And speaking about momentum, which brings me
Yeah.
up to my next point. Take LA Knight, and his momentum is huge. And then you have Jey Uso win the whole match.
Let's get let's get into this. So our final match, Tom, is the King of the Ring last first round, I believe. King of the Ring tournament. Now, by the way, I want to point this out really quick. I'm going to point this out real quick. We have LA Knight in the back beforehand talking to Kathy Kelly, and he goes, "Oh man, you got Jimmy Uso and the whole." And then he catches himself on live TV, and he's like, "They're easy. I'm sorry. It's Jay. They're gonna have Jay win the whole thing. It's easy to get them mixed up." I love how LA Knight when he's in the promo, the
He
guy
messes
works
up,
well
he
here in
catches
his mind.
himself real quick.
He can capitalize. He capitalizes well. I think again that's why LA Knight is so good. And so we have our final King of the Ring tournament. We have Royce Keys, Finn Balor, which is a newfound Finn Balor, I guess. LA Knight and everybody's favorite wrestler right now, apparently according to his Instagram story, everybody's favorite wrestler, Mr. Jey Uso. Now, look, by the way, no, hold on. We didn't hold on. We did not even cover this. I'm sorry, Tom. Before we cover this, let's rewind. In the back, we have a segment between Solo Sikoa and Jacob
Oh, how
Fatu.
could I'm such a
We
fool.
almost
How did
forgot.
I forget
Now,
that?
well, we almost forgot. Okay, now, okay, and we got forgot. Okay, so
I have
we have
questions for that.
we have Jacob Fatu, and earlier in the night, by the way, when Jimmy and Jay are in the back, we have Jacob come up, and Jimmy's like, "What are you doing here?" And Jay, "Well, what are you doing here, Jimmy? I'm here to make sure no one gets involved." And of course, I'm okay. There's gonna be some shenanigans later on. Ultimately, Jacob goes and tells Jimmy, "Look, I'm here to talk to Solo. What do you mean?" Well, Jacob's like, "Don't worry, I'm going to handle my business." So later on, we see this segment. Jacob fought too, going up to Solo, and he's like, "Look, man, I have a message from the OTC. You need to come home." Now, here's where it gets interesting, Tom. Solo Sikoa is 110% justified because the facts that were being spat.
What's truth?
You look at Jacob and he goes, "Look, man, you're telling me, yeah, I'm not coming home. That's a doghouse. You used to be
Go
a
to
killer.
hell.
He can go to hell. You used to be a killer. And he says, look, you don't do that in front of family. Roman made you kneel at his feet in front of the family. That's not what you do. So I wrote, I'm the mental thought. I go, Solo, are you sure there? Because you're not exactly a good representation of the family either. But he has a point.
He has a
And
point.
even Jacob, I'll put it this way, Tom, even Jacob went, I understand. You have a point. But you know what? The way Solo delivered this creates an interesting wrinkle because, boy, I have a newfound respect for Solo Sokoa. This was beautifully delivered to Jacob. Even he made Jacob go, you know what? You're right. And
Which I'm saying, man,
he ultimately says, look, if the OTC wants me to come home, he can come get me, but he can go to hell. Your thoughts, Tom?
you know, like I've been saying, man, Jacob Fatu is not going to last long with the bloodline. He's going to turn
He's
on
not. I
Roman.
don't think so. After
He's
this
going to
segment, I don't
turn
think
on
he will.
Roman, and
Yeah.
he's going to go right home, back home to Solo, where he belongs. I'm telling you right now, he's going to go back home to Solo. Because if you think about it this way, you're right. Solo took that knee too, but it wasn't in front of the family. Jacob was not only humbled, but embarrassed. If you look at it this way, Solo's taking this as, hey, brother, they embarrassed you. Not only did
Yeah.
they humble you, but they embarrassed you. And you're gonna still go back home to them? I'm telling you, here's your opportunity to think this clear of what's really going on. I don't know, folks. That's the whole, you tell me different. This man is gonna turn on Roman as soon as he gets the opportunity.
I think it's becoming more apparent
It's
that
very apparent.
I think it's becoming definitely more apparent that Jacob Fatu has got something up his sleeve. And again, and as interesting, the
And
interesting wrinkle
Solo's a
here,
part of it. Solo's gonna be a part of it.
the interesting wrinkle here in this story is that when it comes to the interactions between Jacob and the Usos, when the Usos kind of press him, if you will, Jacob's not having it.
No,
He's only taking orders from who he acknowledged, which is the OTC Roman Reigns, and that's an interesting wrinkle in the story. Now, again, Solo Sokoa, man, I'm hoping and praying. Please do not. I don't want Jacob. I don't want Solo to go, but I want Solo to stay away from that. No, do not have him go, but do not reunite this bloodline. Stop. Stop.
that's my thing.
No,
I don't want them to reunite the bloodline. I want them to reunite with Solo because he's a better fit with Solo.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm on that. If I don't know if I'm on that bandwagon yet, but that's fine. I
I'm
get it.
on that bandwagon. I think he's a better fit with Solo than he is with Roman.
I think he's better on his own. Stay away from everybody. Stop. Stay away from everybody.
Maybe he's not. And TKO is seeing something that the fans don't.
Possibly. Now we've covered that. Thank God we didn't forget that. Now we move on to the King of the Ring. So we have LA Knight, Jey Uso, Royce Keys, Finn Balor. Now, look, man, I'm gonna say this, dude. If you would have had Royce Keys go over here, great. If you would have had Finn Balor go over here, even though that
Would have been
ship has
great.
set sail a long time ago. If you would have had LA Knight go over here. Oh man, there's a spot.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. But now I will say, good match. Overall, good workers. Jay can work sometimes. LA Knight can work. Royce Keys can work. And of course Finn Balor is probably the best worker in the match in ring wise. We do have a very good spot where Royce Keys, the big bad guy, the big bad intimidating force, was taken out with a power bomb through the announce table, which is good spot. Of course, Jimmy comes out early in the match. Then Solo comes out. Some bloodline shenanigans. We see I think it was a BFT to Royce Keys. LA gets the roll up, or is pinning, or no. I'm sorry, no. Royce Keys, I believe. I think it was Royce Keys. And he goes to pin that night, which then Jey Uso comes in with the Samoan splash or the Uso splash and gets the win. And Jey Uso goes on. Now, I think that it is now before Jey Uso moved on this bracket. If we just look at who we have, Oba, Dominic, and Javon, right? I 100% think that the general consensus is that the WWE was doing a really good job focusing on talent under 30. Oh, wow. They're focusing on talent under 30. I don't have anything against Jey Uso being 40 years old. That's fine. He can't help his age. I think it's dumb when go, oh my God, this guy's 40. Stop. I mean, I don't like Jay, but come on now. Because LA Knight's 40. So anyway, but I will say the fans were like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever now because Jay's moved on. Tom, please explain to me where the logic is. Now I see storyline, okay, they're moving him on. This does not make sense, Tom. Even if you're a Jey Uso fan, Tom, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, Tom. It really does.
I'm trying to keep my composure, TKO, with you yet again.
Remember, don't, it's not worth it, man. These guys, it's just
Yet again.
creative, it doesn't matter. It's not worth
Yet
it.
again, Creative ignores the ignition of LA Knight and chooses to have their wannabe Rocky Maivia to go over. And for what? He's not a main eventer. He is a mid-carder at best. What do people see in him that I'm not seeing? Besides that stupid yeet thing and a catchphrase, that's all he's got. His in-ring performance is subpar at best. He does a phenomenal super kick. He does a phenomenal splash. He does his
Yeah,
little dance moves. That's all well, well and good. But you are still writing.
I will say when he branched off. Hey Tom, did you cut out there, buddy? Whatever, your screen froze on me. I can't see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have some technical difficulties with my partner Tom. I don't know if he's going to return or when he will, but I will say this. And I guess I'll close this out here just so when we have this, we can throw this up and he has something to edit. I don't see the logic in Jay going over because either way he's going to go either toward Cody at the expense of Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns, as soon as he looks at that championship, he's going to go, well, yeah, no way, for sure. Tom, you back, my friend? Anyway, so I talked us through the technical difficulties. Don't worry. So here's what I said. Here's where I was going, man. And we'll end on this. We're already an hour 15 in. We'll end on this. Here's the thing, Tom, is when we have Jay going over, I get that WWE, what they I understand. If he wins the King of the, let's say he wins and beats
No, don't
Obafemi
even say
dominantly.
that. Don't even say that. Don't even say if he wins.
So okay, well, unfortunately, Tom, I think it's an unfortunate reality that we're going to face.
No, it's not going to be the reality that we're going to have to face. It shouldn't have been Jay. It's not going to be Jay. It's not going to be
So
Jay. I take back
so
that. I
here's
take back the fact that even Brock Lesnar is going to cost Oba Femi. I don't even think.
so here's the thing.
Let's
Here's the
not
thing.
have that happen. Let's Oba win it completely now.
So some fans would like him to win. Now, here's the thing, Tom. I will say this. Now, just hold on a second here. Let me profess this. Let me express this thought. Let's say Jay wins this. This is why logically I don't understand, Tom. Is let's say now early in the night Jay meets up with Cody at the beginning of the show when Cody is coming to the arena. Jay says, "Hey, I'm going to win the King of the Ring tournament, and I'm coming after the WWE Championship." Now, I thought to myself, well, no shit, because you're not going after Roman. Now, the only logical thing I could think of here is, okay, if Jay wins the King of the Ring tournament, are some fans hopeful that he will win the King of the Ring tournament and then go after Roman? No, that won't happen. So if now, but then hold on, it gets better. It gets better. Let's say he does win and goes after Cody. Do you really see Jey Uso winning the WWE Championship? Because if that's the case,
I mean, if you, I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you there,
because
Heel, but
no, go ahead. There's just so much I have to. There's so much here.
because first of all, Jay wouldn't be going after Cody. He's going to be going after Gunther.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we would see if we would see Gunther Jey Uso is what people want.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I'd rather see Gunther go against somebody else, like maybe
No, you know what? Actually, now I think
Jacob
about it, Tom,
Fatu.
let Jey Uso. No. Let Jey Uso win this, so that way Gunther can tap him out.
You know what? That's the only reason why I would
Fine.
want for Jay to win. Is for him to be
No.
tapped out by Gunther.
So
Because I'm not gonna lie, this whole SmackDown episode, folks, annoyed the crap out of me. TKO's decisions this SmackDown episode annoyed the crap out of me, and that's just
you and everybody else, my friend.
it's not making sense, folks. And this is one of those episodes where I become real, and you see the guy behind the camera. It's not making any sense. TKO is just not making any sense for that episode. I'm hoping next Raw and next SmackDown it makes more sense and answers my questions would be answered, and so would be yours.
Now, here's my final thought. I don't see logically what could come about Jey Uso winning the King of the Ring tournament. I see everything with Obafemi, but unfortunately, he's tied up with Brock Lesnar. So there goes that logic. So the unfortunate reality. Now, hold on a second. When it comes to the King of the Ring, we also have Dominic Mysterio. Could we see King Dominic Mysterio? I wouldn't mind that.
Honestly, the reality of that is I don't see no chance because now you have guys like Jey Uso in the match. You have Obafemi, and you have who else?
Devon Evans.
I just don't see Dom, trying to be going over in this one.
Now, I also wouldn't hate, and I made a TikTok video about this, by the way. My tag is Heel Harrison. If you know who I am, go follow me over on TikTok. I made a video recently saying, you know what? I wouldn't hate the idea of Roman Reigns and Javon Evans, but I know that won't happen.
No, not for a
That won't happen.
while,
So,
at least.
yeah. So, Tom, with all that being said, this was a controversial episode
Yeah,
of
this was a
SmackDown, to
very
say the very least.
controversial episode and a very controversial SmackDown. I will say that. I mean, everything was so confusing and
Well, we could have there's some fun points to talk about. There was for sure. There was some fun stuff, but overall, man, the conclusion of this, you
I,
don't have LA Knight go over.
you really don't.
Why?
You really don't.
Why?
I just
After what he said, dude. After what he said last week, you don't have him. Why?
I don't understand it. I really don't. A lot of people are saying that this train has set sailed for LA Knight, and that may be the conclusion.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
just hoping for a better SmackDown next week because TKO
all right.
that
Well,
was a very
well, I
controversial,
will.
sloppy SmackDown in my opinion.
No,
I've seen
yeah.
counts in that.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us for another episode of Wrestling with
Wrestling with
Marks, the Tom and
Marks.
Harrison podcast. Tom, we have an interesting week coming up. I will say that. So,
Oh
the King
yeah.
of the Ring, as the King of the Ring, moving to the King of the Ring semifinals. Where Blake Monroe will be, I don't know yet. I don't know if we're gonna have another diary entry. And boy, what will happen to Kit Wilson? Poor Kit Wilson. Hope he's not in a catatonic state. So, I will see you guys for the next installment of
Wrestling.
the Wrestling with Marks, Tom and Harrison podcast episode. Tom, thanks for joining me.
Jay, thanks for joining me as well. It's always a pleasure, and each episode will get better.
Yeah. And I guess I will say this, even though I'm not a basketball fan, go
Go
Knicks.
Knicks.
Whatever that means. So I will see you for the next episode. Thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen.
Until
See you
then,
later.
see you later.